So let's create pipeline using for each activity. This for each activity will use the pipeline parameter. So I'm going to name this parameter as number, and of course the data type of this parameter will be an array data type. The parameter might be an array of integers. Um, so these three numbers that I gave, we might change it for next run. So now in this for each, it will iterate through the parameters. Okay, so it will take each of the parameter value, each of the items of the array in each iteration. So if there are three values here in the pipeline parameter, it will iterate three times. If there would be four, it will iterate four times, and so on. So for each item of that array, this uh, whatever activity is inside for each will run uh, the same number of times as the number is present in the array list. Okay, so in the first iteration it will take the number 35, and we are going to use if condition to check if the number is going to be divisible by 2 or not. So here we have to write an expression in order to check if the number can be divided by 2 or not. So we have to see for the functions that can help us to check that. So we already know, everyone must be aware of this concept, that if a number is divisible by 2 and if the remainder is 0, then it's an even number. If the mod of a number, when it is going to be divided by 2, if it comes as 1, then it's going to be an odd number. So that's the logic we are going to write here. So in this if, we are going to write the expression using modular function. So okay, so mod of this number is coming for each iteration, it will be stored in the item of for each, right? So let me go back and show you. So the property which is holding the whole array is called items, as you can see here, and each of the uh, individual items of that array or individual numbers in that array is termed as item. Okay, and you can see that here when I'm writing the expression, if I want to refer to that particular number, then I can select this value which is going to give me this expression at the rate item. So this is pointing to each of the numbers for each of the iterations, something that you might be already aware if you're working in ADF. Okay, so this item will hold 35 in first iteration, in second iteration it will hold 16, in third iteration it will hold 90, as these are the numbers we have given in the array of pipeline parameter. Okay, so if mod of this item is equals to 0, so we are going to write the expression using modular function. So let me search for that. So you can see the example here. uh, if mod of 10 comma 4 returns 2, then we can do something. So similarly, if mod of this item comma 2 is equals to 0, then it will be treated as even number. If it is not 0, then it will be treated as odd number. So here we will be writing mod function, mod of this item, and we will try to divide it by 2, and if it uh, and if it is equals to, so there is a equal function as well. So if it is equals to, 0, then this expression will hold true for the even numbers. So if this condition is satisfied, then we will go inside true block and we will set a variable. Let's create a variable as well. We have not created variable, so we can directly create it from here, or we can go back into the pipeline level and we will go to the variable. So let me create it from here. So we will say number, and let it be string. Okay, so we have created a variable here. Let me go back and show you. In the pipeline level, you can see variables. So here you can see number is already created here. So instead of number, let me give say num. Okay, to differentiate between parameter name and variable name. Okay, so here inside if, we are setting this as even, so we will say that number will be coming as an integer. So first of all, we will convert it to string. So using string function, we will convert it to string. So let me use this function. So here, first of all, we will convert that number into string. So that number is stored in something called item property, as we know. So let me use that item. Okay. And now we will say this number is even. Okay. So that concatenation we will achieve using concat function. So here let me use concat function. Inside the concat function, let me zoom in. Okay. So inside this concat function, we will write comma, and then we will hardcode that this number is an even number. Okay. Since it is inside true block, which means that it is going to be divided by 2 and remainder is 0, then it is an even number. So let me rename it as even. Okay. And if in case it goes to the false condition, then we are going to set it to odd. So again, number num variable, and we are going to use same expression concat and then string of item. Okay. And what we are going to concat is, we are going to concat the number 35 is an odd number. Okay. So this should work fine. Let's try to debug before creating the Python code. So this is the default value. So let's try to run it and let's try to see the output is coming correctly or not. So there will be 3 iterations for number 35. So you can see these are all running in parallel. We can set it to sequential to understand in a better way. So you can see that whole pipeline execution is also completed within seconds, and you can see 2 numbers have gone inside the true block and 1 has gone into the odd the false block. So if you remember, the numbers were 35, 16 and 90. So 35 should be odd and other 2 should be even. So let's check the output now. So you can see number 16 is an even number and 90 is an even number and 35 is an odd number, which is true. So let me give space here in the concatenation before is, let me give space for better readability. Okay. So now this should be fine, and let me also rename this pipeline, say even underscore odd, and let me prefix it with pl underscore even underscore odd. Let me publish it now. So this pipeline is working fine.